like how do I go there? How did you go there? What are the opportunities that you have? The one area I have been very vigilant and I've been very concerned about all the time is how is the area that brought me, which was actually athletics, which is running, coming through Bio. So before I start, I want to acknowledge all of us. I want to request anybody mwenye alikuja hapa na Bio, and I know most of you, so I know, don't be shy because I know when we came we were very skinny and tiny, and nowadays tumebarikiwa. So everybody, if you came through an athletic scholarship of any sort, whether it was full or a quarter or an inch, tusimame to let's recognize them, all of us. Let's stand up. Camera, baka, watu wa camera, you can mulika or you can see almost half the room. All of us came as runners to get in tafadhali. Na mnaona mpaka mheshimiwa Kilwa, and then obviously our first Olympian. So don't worry, you know they may not look like it right now, but back then, if you Google somewhere in the Facebook, you will be sure to find a picture of them when they were as tiny as they were at the time. So obviously, Mheshimiwa Governor, umesikia, most of us who are from Bomet, I guess it means also we need to double our efforts so that, but I can assure you, the sound, I saw the people from Wasingishu, I think they were doubling. I think Wasingishu and Andy, they were trying to play a team game. So when they say Wasingishu, and then they say people were doing this. But Bomet, we are very honest, so we kept it to our word. Asanteni sana. So I think most of us, there is a phrase we say is preaching to the choir. So preaching to the choir means you are talking to people about the subject that they already may be experts in. So I think for most of us who came through athletic scholarship, of which we are the majority, we may know most of this. But it's good to get updated from time to time about what is happening. It's good to know so that when they stop you at home and asking you questions about this, we need to be able to know how to respond to them. So Kamoy Gorale in Gongoi Garogi Sigi Chokemi Chang, Kage Magalagi, King on Mola Woodit, Kemoy. So for the circus, Asantini, welcome from across the world. I think we are live on back in Kenya also. So I want to talk to you guys briefly about athletics scholarship. Now, in Emone, in America, kung kaya universities jaba America, ko department ba ngwaye ak department ne ba so manet ko ter igibesho. So ngamu igibesho ko requirements jaba aga tugul ko ter. Now, schoolship in America ko mi level ishe ke ter ngunon ko wune to rogere ndu ko mi level ishe ke ter. So amache ke ngalale ni to sugol go yo amache yak tai chi tugul ko ye ko ide tai la kwet ne goron ko tebe ni gole gibi to no America orinai amun tienge ngunon chiko sije sugul itare sugul au ak test jigi wa yang ne. So pray that the clicker is working. Let's go. Very good. So in summary, I will just talk very briefly about sugul ishe ke gitindai ne tuguk chege mache ke ba requirements ko ne tuguk chege mache sigeben ne process ne ba application of keys to success. So I will be going very fast with the hope that if I leave something and somebody will have a question, go free go there sorry. So number one, I'm not going to in general go in kurone ko sugul ishe ko gipche ko ngete division 1 ago ni le chini ko le ko junior college. Kita kaya no mache ki nai chita le swame sugula le swame sugula agwede ko ile ni tabalu mo nyutu le rugo ko ne raisi entugul geba amun entugu chegemak chinge kerge go mages kerge go gitara au sugul kerge go tugu jango ni so ko na go bare junior college ni tabalu barang ni no ke bare division 1 ko division 1 ko the most competitive yang ga segu non all the big schools in America ko they belong under that division 1. So Korea ke ba under the requirements ko ginawa machi na igichile yo ni tinye chita la kwet ne ko na tertere ago inga ni le baro ni le clear na gen sita ko le ban jaba application fee le ban ne yang ne ko ni ta ni no ko machi ko kan ya mun tu che ko machi requirements asige qualifying lakini ko bi ke chang yo ni machi ko an en gun I'm telling you it's a bad subject ira mu to log over 10 on gana le ambassador ne ko si re jon che chi kan ira mu to log up sa che chang. Kung gamu no mutu je jang ko my emphasis ko go nyuci ta America igere nge wa no le kung gemi sugut ko tebele jube galo choose down Mississippi gili asinyo ko mengen ile eno riti buade ile magen jitu la ne ko maja anya America mami je bara kaitin no si juilionen so ko gine wo gine chita ne che gini la kwa school ko your emphasis na ngu ko si requirements che ko machi I ko magen show ile siche opportunity ko nyo mami jonge ke debe ke lo ko wa school no wana na minga muni ga ke ba ni to ko ke so ko ma America and then agor ko gine si re to ko nito ni ko pa junior college ko it's a 2-year school so nga mu 2-year school ko mami requirement ko na ngele na ni lazima ke test je gure ne requirements kutuma kwa apply la kwet big chan ko ketinye nafasi ayi na gigi radio ko chingin la ko le no ane ke baga school e form 2 yin ki bono dono baga ko le ke tar school e 99 ki bono dono so number 1 le nyali mochi pichon cho sa me school ko ile lazima ita for now there is a requirement in kasarta nyono lagi ki bono more than 10 years ago ko gitam ko mamatare ni ke le ki tara form 4 Keba gomi ango ke NCAA the organization ni gole pau mai o ke gole kia go ita time ni kita re jita sukula go burte ni asenga ako match ko nyogoron ko ki nyogoron ya ta teni aso sino ni go log up 17 years kita 30 years old ko ki jo baru le mi NCAA division 1 mo ay gole chita ko ngete go ke tar high school engenya ko count the clock against you so gunon ko titar sukul agi nyo boran ge ko ni ke ni shakangwan I labat chi subul lakin nugo ko gini tar ke ni yikso mo yanga ke rebe ni ke ni shego nge nyo ni ke chuburan ge labat ke ni shego so that is one of the requirement of NCAA no mo wa gole iche ga tugo mache ko making sure ko le fair competition because we fair competition ke le onen ko ge making sure ge le so the only thing gicho that's why no mo the school no le chin go ba junior college ag ne go ba NAIA ko matinya that requirement so ogo danyo ni kita ni ko 13 years ago school danyo ko the fact that ko school ni ko he will still qualify for division 1 ko laba jago mi amune amuni ngure ka start ni ko junior college so that is why ni college chi tu lo ma chi ibe metino ta ina ile a picture ko san ko mi jita na ba san no li pa ka nya ko nai ko le ki ne ba na ne ko ne ga de ti na school ne ju se ni the main thing the other thing after KCSE ko SAT ko test chegia pa English and Kiswahili ago chintu ko lazima ko logo ab American ko batar sukul ko logo lazima ge sige ba in college so that's another thing kita ko lagi nyo kita ko $60 kasar ko mure 120 another so that's another thing the third thing TOEFL ini no ko give a test of English as a foreign language. Most of the schools have waived that requirement because when you fill those forms, make sure if you are a kid listening to me out there, you always have to say English is your first language because it's actually the mode of instruction in our country, Kenya. So that is why most schools, you have to make sure you avoid a school that will make you to have to do the TOEFL exam because that is a very costly examination to do. And then the finances. Now, that is where now most of us come in. Make sure inge yokta la kwet kastare kot from the first step na wala kwet kata form 4 ago iko nyo ko it kurone ko rabi ni chibo ishien ko la kwet nguno ni compete ago yai test jingo ko SAT and then ago ilwanji ni rent ilion that is requirement and that is where the parents need to know eno li baga nyangu ko iko changa mi la go chebendi places ko you got to stroke back in and load it and many other places li balite kiricho ko mi kambi shaka picture train ne ko ngawole. The parents, I urge the parents who are listening there, because of us here who are sponsoring some of those kids, make sure we check with them and know what they are doing. Because beloved, matungi ibu ni sigi George oktola go kichao magina gele testan ne garon go ilele mi go train lagi na mami go uno. So let's make sure. So those are the things, and then obviously you need the will in the name. The process, I think I already talked about it. The thing, that last thing, now about the visa, service plus visa fee. And that change la go then Kenya le ji puro sa ji sukula ma jo nya America ma je dore de in our time more than 10 years ago that service fee was only $100. Now it is $350. You go in fact go back go 49,000 Kenya shillings. About that service fee you pay once. And then got the some school this year, Ako ipatambaya ko matajan suguli na ano. Ako get in the next semester you can transfer it. Like after one, they expire. So that is another thing. And then of course the visa to Nigeria water. Picture Union visa $170 in good. That is 23,000 Kenya shillings. So it is a very costly affair, but it pays a lot of dividends if we can do it right. So that is where I wanted. No, I always include this slide where I'm talking about the quickest way to come to America or to get an admission. Before you book a visa, for those of you who know, you need an admission letter called the I-20. The quickest way ni hiyo kitu inaitwa junior college. Chuko stands for junior college. When you go to junior college, they need an SAT exam, but they don't need a certain mark. I've applied so many schools for kids, but when you apply those schools, they will tell you SAT, we need this mark. But wow, junior college, they will tell you, have you done the SAT? Yes, that's just a requirement, it's a check mark. These are the schools called the NAIA. They will tell you, have you done the SAT? Ulipata hii mark. Kama hukupata, you are told to write a letter yenye inaonyesha when you were in high school you were smart, lakini bahati mbaya umefanya hii exam na haikuwa mzuri sana. So is that nice? I think Wakenya tunajua kufanya hivyo. Kuandika barua ya serikali yana mwa yako leje kai kichukua yeje chukuma wachapa lakini kama ngomne aende shule. So kile cha muni nyo na muni so kadara. So me got in so those two schools, those two levels, we need to make sure again like give that opportunity. So how much lagok chakasani enolino eche chekimi enolgo ke sponsors in one way or the other sigi chekimi then young ke goji these kids this direction amoni in most of these schools they do a good job. Now keys to success. I think kita naya lagi tu na awak ni ko ko Kenya the first time ko amigo na. Ko dewe na ko ha ko be dito na America ni chama ji gil ke lagi nyo si plaza ni ite na nya mo sa mo den. Ko kyang mo ke jole na mo ni la ko ke jono ka te ko ada sa mo kita ko mingin gili class 6. Lakini this guy stuck to the promise that I gave him. He got that phone ko le ako rahata ko ko si plus. So what is next? You see, so this is clearly a person who knew in his head, there is a promise, I want to go to America, this America is for all of us, and that is what happened. So if you are patient and determined and have these things, you will be able to go. So that is why, so what I normally do when I see a promising kid, I talk to them, talk to them through this process. I always ask them if they are really determined. I take them to a training camp. A training camp normally takes a year to 2 years. Now, one thing you need to know with you, a lot of people who joined didn't have the talent in them to start with. It's just that people who wanted really to make a difference in life, and they decided to say, Kigo Big America, I'm gonna say more one. So that is the thing. So that is what you have to do. But mostly that good support system. We need to make sure like we support the nyalo. Now let's take it. I think this is my last slide. Remember that one. They say sports 10% talent, 90% your effort. Kitu na mtu kijana yata ile kama logi ni coach wale chichi kabisa komwe chichi ma kwa itole onyoga erwa all about the time the ladies amui igile about the staple juice festival juice ke no kerwa ile something all about the 10 17 but the lady nagi nataka na alaba 9 that something. So but this guy, I told him, man, you need to get training. 2 years later go get win in the conference, go even number 1 in the conference level. Because this thing is about the determination, you do what you are told to do and stuff like that. So I want to encourage the kids out there, people who are people of goodwill, this is the way to go. Anyone can do this thing, but make sure, because remember, you have not succeeded until at least your successor succeeds. So most of us, if you are here, ujaleta mtu from Kenya, then you are not adding. So governor, unajua mimi nimeleta watu wengi, that's why I'm even trying to come back home, because I know hapa ni safe. If I go back, I'm leaving at least some people who I can count on. Every time I talk, I get an opportunity to talk. A lot of people will have follow-up questions, especially the kids who may be watching on TV or listening to me over wherever they may be. I have, I don't know, you can Mulika Hugo, but my email address is always the best way to be reached at, and I make sure I respond to all the people, and so if you have any questions, I want you to be able to reach out. The only last thing I want to say, those people who have undergraduate degrees in Kenya, and you are interested in coming to the US, that's another very, very, very positive area. When you apply for any program in the United States for a master's degree, most of them, they will accept you automatically. The only challenge is when they now tell you, can you now prove to us the way you will be able to pay those fees? And that is where the challenge normally comes. They ask for the bank statement and stuff. But I want to ask you, when you apply for those things, inherently, automatically there is a box that they will ask you, will you require any form of scholarship? And you have to check that box. But more importantly, make sure you look for the department. When you apply for school, you look for the school, you look for the department chair, and you email them and ask them, hey, my name is so-and-so, I'm interested in coming to do a master's program. Do you have any type of scholarships? And remember, as long as you know the target of the schools you're applying, remember in our days we used to apply 10, 15, 20 schools at the same time, but it's like putting up, fishing out there, and you'll always be sure to get one or two who will respond. So make sure you are doing your due diligence before you apply those ones, so that at least you are giving yourself a chance of a response back, so that you can be able to pursue that opportunity. I'm sure, I think I am, how am I doing? So I think I am...
You're good.
I talk very fast.
You're good.
Sindio?
Unakimbia. Unajua ni mtu ambio.
Mimi mtu ambio. Whenever I have the mic, I feel like somebody is about to come and say, imetosha bwana. So
not really.
I try. Nashukuru sana. My name is Barnabas. If you have any questions, my email address is kiru85@gmail.com, and I'll be glad to ask any questions to you. Asanteni sana.
Now,
thank you.
Bwana Barnabas, tupige makofi mazuri tafadhali. Real quick, tuko na session ya Q&A, a few questions. Just najua tutakuandikia maswali mengi kwa email, but a few questions here that you can answer.
Thank you for that information. My question to you, I know you touched a lot on Lagok Chebunuga. We have Lagok Afka, Lagile the diaspora. How do you advise or inspire our children to also pursue athletics in this country? Because I know that's an opportunity that we are overlooking, even as an organization of Kotaka.
Go busy. One thing, that is a very good question. Amun pike chang ene chegi sigi chegi ruwae ko garo ninyo ruweri chaga tibi chaga ko mama maya ko mama chena munenye. So I believe the right answer to that question lies in the inspiration that we can provide as parents. Most of us, we graduate and then we stop running completely, and then even we don't get the time to train these kids to learn about these opportunities. So I want to request to say, I think one of the ways we can inspire our kids is to make sure we involve them in those activities. Even if as parents we don't run ourselves, at least we enroll them in the running clubs, in the school running clubs. We have, I know in Fort Worth, there is a gentleman who started a club that is called, which actually inspires the kids to come and run. So I think what we can do, one of the favor we can do for our kids is to make sure we enroll them in those kinds of opportunities, take them to those events, and then you will be surprised how some of them will be interested in joining. I hope I answered your question.
Beautiful. Any other questions somewhere here? From the Queen of England herself.
Thank you. I was NCA athlete, and this question goes to the governor, because the NCA president currently is Charlie Baker, who was the governor of Massachusetts. Our challenge go to those who guarantee 20 sports slots to visa. Single way now, okay, come visa available. So I think that the government should come in. Our volunteer already people wait out lakini kwa wewe basi guarantee la wakati mani wakali hivi kwenye visa Most of the time, that was my just contribution.
That's a very good question. That's a very good point. Last year, most of just so Governor can say something. Last year, I think the percentage of kids who got an I-20, which means admitted to the school in America, they paid over the 100,000, the 48,000 in service plus the 20,000 in visa fee. They went to the embassy, they got returned, they reapplied again, they got returned. So that has been a very big challenge. So I think one of the help we can need actually is that one, whereby, because I know up to 5 kids who got an I-20, an admission, but you know, you go to the embassy and then nowadays, during long time ago, if you had a full scholarship or any type of scholarship, it was almost automatic that you would get a visa. But nowadays, they don't even want to look at your papers. You go to the window, it's just like the you cannot apply within 30 days. So I think Governor and the government, because Kilwa is aware, we need that kind of help so that they know if we are getting admitted to a school in the United States, at least they should be fair enough to give the kids the visa, because for them to go to the embassy normally costs an arm and a leg to most of the families.
Mine will not be a question. I'm going to get your song.
Because of the
Serikali, you know, Governor, Mheshimiwa Kirwa, some you are treated with the American embassy and these countries. Congo Tosam, most likely you will move Kigio, the law last year, or you were the law, Chajamusi, you know, being given favor with anything. Because really, if I would get a full scholarship, why would they refuse them a visa? But Ngoto Manor say, Akwek Serikali, our son, through the ministry, so some treaty at the American government, who most likely get only a slot, only get a job for the students to meet America, the best thing to do in law work, you guys have very talented kids here. Most likely law work. I'm one person that can keep the Nigi Nyate, or Hilabat Calabat in the domes. Pamurta you will give on the Tengi Samur, Agana Yan Peter Rotich, who is a CEO, where he's done really well in business. Kematoji of Samur, Alamagan sure you know what in Yarabi, or I'll let you get to Yanamway. Korway from Jeff Samur, or Namway, Kino Wayai, and Gutelu, Amandas, and they made it for it. They came to this country, they have done great. So, in Labo, Chemito Buron, Amajo and Karajan, most parents, we are so busy. Gas is here. We ship money and get lawyer and law. Me and my wife, who get to my family, they give me New Jersey. Who give us a lot of Martin and even to so we used to be there for them. So you have to make sure in the water and then all the sports have a law. Sometimes when I might live in Uganda, when you logic this year, so you quit. You just the scholarship. So explore the opportunities to live on our own. I still believe in Mugula. You got college in are very good tennis players. I still believe in my heart. All of you got college in are very good golf players. So I got them love for another Kyoto's Pongara invasion if you want. Niki Kilobo, Dorothy Governor, in with training camps. I expect to have you set up a training camp in Masop. You know, most of them will be outside of me in the rail. Have one in Masop, Sumutai, one and all one. I would give me a big South Rift to Europe training camps or be covered. A check, I took to get one, all these rules, give one, a movement get the last. Looking at the woman one minute to what I get, the style, give a shape to non Sigi get. But we are very talented and we can actually explore those opportunities. there's a lot of money because okay, $130,000 you were school. Well, you know, what else do you need? So imu works at Fitobel, Ungiki Lao job, but Onam Ungeva coaching, you know, some of us. Officer will know Ranagaba Nai, is it the American embassy, me and Paul Ren. Is it the legend go to be one idea, Pugimogi? Nigga, why you go on the cable became a commune, so I said, Unga Server wed. American embassy actually went to Kapsaka to interview and the done every Damune, so I visa. So, none of the son gave us on the tribute. So, we get our tail of your own way, give it a
Probably one last question. Two. Thank you, Professor.
The government has Marangalia for Yellow. Big oil muchekora, the government has a rally authority. America Jusan, okay. Me corruption, I will be the retail. Then I get discouraged and I walk out to the Tomanda. A move away the process, and there's a lot going on there. A majority of the other. A monk I could be the discouragement. Maybe the bear out of Soviet Cocker, need a minute of scholarships to you. I didn't get a rune in it. He got a overcome training on the Soviet Cocker, Tamu, who knew the woman in it. You get there, anything by US common million. Good chemotherapy was serious. We need to look at that as well.
Thank you.
Also, to add on how I mentioned, it's not really a question. Also, Kenya training, for example, for 2 years, I will make a Copland school. So, for online. So, as a student athlete, when you go around, the line and with 2 years. For example, move like community engagement, like a part of community. Between that period of time, among Gunang Quay digital embassy, Kumagingen came in Wajijaba, like in Yava Lane, Naraki, within those 2 years of our planning at Junior College for NI schools, Kege English data tool or Arab data tool, informing not again, for a chance of a car on it again, from it, let's say, after a president from high school for 6 months. For this certain period of time, so that when you need to when the embassy of Chijata in that so do not mention.
Ladies first or men? Oh, just this one last one. Yeah, because of time.
Question number 2. So we have students that allow me to say so in English, please. So we have students that come here, and then when they get here, they struggle to like sustain themselves. What is the best way to do advice as challenges who are here already who know the way? Because we have students that come here. And when they get here, a student athlete, you know, over the summer, they don't have anywhere to go. So I was asking, what would you advise as somebody who stayed here for a long time to help our students who come here and that don't have any community? Because even me, I never knew of Kotaka until I was in that year. So like, I don't know, what's something that we can do as Kalenjins to make sure that our kids get here and get to be able to maintain their scholarship, stay in shape and all that.
Thank you very much. So, since that might be the last question, that is a very good question. Like, most people sometimes, I know during my time of some schools that when the school was not in session, they would charge. They would say the dorms are closed. If you want to stay in the dorms, you pay $20 a day. for the whole summer. And obviously, if the kids are not working, they don't have a job, then obviously they will not have that opportunity to do that. So, what is my opinion on that? Number one, it's very important I think that's where the officials, Madam President and the other officials, we need to have a very good outreach system so that when people land in this country, they are aware that we have an organization. If they are in Dallas, for example, somewhere around, in the Dallas area, they need to belong to the local chapters, because if you belong to some organization, I think it would alleviate that, that pain of not knowing anybody around or stuff like that. But I think that's a challenge that we are giving to an organization like this one, because other than that, if you go to some cities, for example, that may not have a very active chapter of Kotabka like this one, that one may not be a good place because there will not be a local chapter. And that is why I think we need a chapter, we need like the Kotabka itself, even at the national level, to make sure they have an outreach system so that we have a way of trying to reach out to the kids, in whatever schools they have. And I think also, it also goes along with that nowadays, when you go online and look up these organizations, to those kids who are listening out there and anybody out there, it's easy to get the information about other colleagues, about some of other fellow Kenyans and stuff like that. But more importantly, make sure when you are in school, when you get in touch with the administration and tell them about your interest in looking for Kenyans or other Kenyans of goodwill from whatever, I think it would be possible. But I think I want to request the organization and all of us in the local chapters to do something about it so that we make sure we sensitize the community of all the athletes who may be around the area so that they'll be aware that there will be a place to go. Last but not least, I want to say, in Lagok John meeting in Kenya, one of the reasons that actually kind of led to the issue of having visa issues is because it got to the point where some people would show up and they would, because we, it normally starts with writing to a coach, you tell them you are a good runner, blah, blah, blah. And then people started showing up and they are completely out of shape. It was just somebody talking behind the mic, behind the computer and stuff. Amaja requested in Lagok Cheumi Osame School, he make sure you let in his coach and his opportunity, immediately train any Gora, so go made to you a moon, he go a situation, then the big like going over to be a lana fast someone. Me schools go to Jukita would take a lot of Kenyan athletes like Colby Community College. In it, there will be the next 6 or 7 athletes. Kenya. Like in a good movie, the degree in Kenya. Someone among the level, they are not, they are talking, they are tech savvy and they know how to get the scholarship because they know what time to say and all the stuff. But when it comes to really doing what you're supposed to be doing, running and stuff, they are not good enough. So I want to request everybody, make sure you don't try to come through running, because when you come through running and yet you are not a runner, when you get here, you get into problems because they will take away that scholarship, and then that's where some of the struggles will come from. Thank you very much. If you have any further questions, I'll be happy to answer any out there, but I thank you for listening to me. Thank you, Mr. Chafe.